Hello, and welcome to the 25th Hour, a newscast produced by the Carleton University School of Journalism. I'm Amanda Marsh.
And I'm Jane Skripnik. Thanks for joining us.
Around the world, people come together as a community to share traditional food with friends and family. Our team has spent the past month learning how people in Ottawa connect through food.
We'll meet a group of Syrian refugees who are bringing a community together in a church, and a local man who shows his love of Canada through pizza in the shape of a heart. Today, we're sharing our favorite stories with you.
Our first story takes us down the street from Carleton University, where Anh Nguyen owns Chez On, a Vietnamese restaurant serving authentic pho and banh mi sandwiches with a Canadian twist. He's only 25, and his restaurant is a part of a community that opened its heart to him. Connor introduces us to the man with a recipe for caring.
It's a little community business that almost didn't make it. Thankfully, Anh Nguyen's customers love him. When he was faced with a potential closure last year over a ventilation issue, the community rallied to save his business. We thought you'd like to meet him too.
My name is Anh, and this is my restaurant.
Welcome to my restaurant. I saw this place for sale on Kijiji, and I just had to go for it.
Anh Nguyen took over this kitchen last summer at only 25.
Yeah, when I first opened, I sold out completely for the first week. I had to turn away customers. People were really enjoying the sandwiches.
His loyal customers love his banh mi's and delicious pho. They visit him several times a week. The best part of the meal is seeing him.
Ooh, this is good. Overall, he's like the nicest bundle of joy I can ever describe. He's so nice. He's so kind to his customers.
We told Nguyen what they had to say.
That's honestly very heartwarming. I do care about my customers as friends, and I love that they support me so much. So I put a lot of care into taking care of them. Regular customers, they come in once or twice or even more than that per week, and I get to know their names. It's a very friendly basis. It's such a small restaurant. It's so local and community based. Hey there.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. All right, can I please get a banh mi sandwich?
Sure, would you like chicken or beef?
It's really rewarding just to see customers coming back again, just because you know that they enjoy your food and they want to eat it, and just seeing their smiles really makes it worth coming into work every day.
To Nguyen, cooking is an art. Every bowl of pho is perfectly arranged, and every banh mi is perfectly toasted. His customers always leave satisfied.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
No worries.
Thanks.
What I love most about cooking is seeing a smile come up on a customer's face, just seeing that they enjoy what I make.
I thought the sandwich was delicious, really flavorful, cooked really well. Couldn't have been better.
It isn't always easy. Restaurant work involves long, hard hours.
All right, that comes to $6.77.
And razor-thin profit margins. The hardest challenge came when a fire inspection nearly shut him down. The restaurant's previous owners installed a ventilation system that couldn't handle grease.
But essentially, the ducts aren't large enough to actually suck out the grease vapors that food produces. It was incredibly frustrating, of course, because I had to cut 90% of my menu. I couldn't use grease.
Thankfully, the community came out to support him. His customers started a GoFundMe campaign to keep his restaurant going while he made changes. They raised over $1,200.
I felt like he was an important part of my, 2-block radius, and really wanted to make sure that he stuck around.
He keeps the faces of people who helped him on his wall. The issue isn't fixed, but the money helped him pay his bills while he switched up his menu and made changes to the store.
I think that the reason people wanted to come out and support my business and myself is that they could see how much I care about my business and what I do. They care that I really like to cook what I like to cook.
Today on the menu is smoked salmon, but Nguyen is hoping that his longtime customers will support him in his next adventure, turning the restaurant fully vegetarian.
My regular customers are not aware that I'm about to forego all meats on my menu. But I hope they'll be excited because the meat substitutes are just as tasty.
He's confident they will. They have every time in the past. He just has one last message for them.
Biggest thank you to my customers, because I honestly probably would not still be running this business if it wasn't for you guys.
The community has turned to Ang's restaurant to share meals with friends and family. A group of Syrian women are doing the same thing. After leaving Syria 3 years ago, these women are starting to feel at home in an unexpected place. They're bringing community together through traditional Syrian foods. Ash has more.
At a church in West Ottawa, locals enjoy the flavors of Syria through a meal prepared by Syrian newcomer women. Over 100 people gathered in a church hall to eat a meal prepared by Yasmin, a group of Syrian newcomer women. The event isn't only about food, but about building bridges across cultures. Ambassador of Tanzania, Alfayo Kitatawas, was among one of the guests.
Meeting the Syrian women, the Yasmin group, it is another thing really to bring that sensitivity, that feeling of refugees who are coming here and incorporated in the Canadian family. Canada is always a place where everybody feels at home.
Some guests drove over 3 hours to join the lunch. Jess Chambers came from Bellevue just for the event.
Everything was delicious. The sauce was just made everything very tasty, and the dessert was excellent.
Is this your first time having this new style?
Absolutely my first time, and I would try it again.
But good food takes time. The women gathered early this morning in a church kitchen to assemble the meal. The women take direction from Ida Nufori, a Syrian refugee herself who only recently arrived to Canada. She started the catering company to help other Syrian women who are struggling to carve out a space for themselves. For Ida, making a little bit of money from the business is just the cherry on top. The real meat of the business is about offering Syrian refugee women a place to congregate and work together.
No, my goal is not just the money. No, I want to give them a community. Yeah, that's what I want to give them, because when you give them this, that means they can get a new life, a good life, good community, and I want to mix between them and a Canadian community. That's what I want.
Sumaya Tayyib Al-Zadine and her family of 6 came to Ottawa as refugees after the war broke out in Syria. Back in Syria, she used to sell cream. Now she works at Yasmin.
I return home at 8 o'clock. We relax. We have dinner with my family member. And spend the time is studying English.
After Sumaya leaves the kitchen, she'll go straight to English class. She spends her free time studying English so she can pass the citizenship test next year and make Canada her permanent home. Ida is from Damascus, the capital of Syria. She says before the war, the fragrance of jasmine permeated the streets.
Yasmin, this is a kind of flower. You can find it in Syria. And I remember no house without Yasmin, no road without Yasmin. And we call Damascus Yasmin.
Yasmin shapes the women's experience in Canada. It's more than a job, it's a lifeline.
It's very important for them. When you find yourself in a new land, everything is new. Start from the language, to the culture, to the people, everything is new. Absolutely, it's very important for them.
Yasmin is never short for orders. They cater small takeaway meals to large-scale events, and they think this is just the beginning.
We focus about the Syrian food or the restaurant, if we can. We didn't know, but we're thinking and we hope. We hope.
These women are bringing traditional Syrian dishes to the Ottawa community. Over in Vanier, Louis Pizza mixes Lebanese hospitality with a big dollop of Italian flavor. Mo, the head chef and owner, has been perfecting the art of pizza for nearly 50 years. 25th Hour reporter Allison goes behind the scenes to tell us what makes Mo's pizza so different.
Every pizza that comes out of Mo's kitchen is made with love. He often shapes the dough into hearts, writes welcome with pizza sauce on plates, and decorates his dishes with flowers. And he does all of this for 2 reasons: his love for pizza and to make people smile.
Hello, Diane. How are you? Well, just to make the pizza, make it look nice, and make the people see the people satisfied from the way I do it. I love it because it's our business, my kids' business. You know what I mean? Yelena, you understand what you want now? You know, when you buy business, you have to work hard. Like all my family was working from the morning till night.
Like when my dad would come home, we'd jump on him, hug him, kiss him. We loved it, but we were always jealous of other families that had, you know, they would take their kids vacationing or they would do something fun with them. My parents were always stuck at work, but we loved them no matter what. They gave us a really good future. So originally, my mother's uncle Louis was here. In 1960, he opened the restaurant. In 1969, he sponsored my mother from Lebanon. She was only 14 years old. And then in 74, met my father. She brought him here, they got married. And then in 1979, her and my dad bought it from their Uncle Louis.
I wake up every day at 11 o'clock. I come to work here. I go right away, I make the dough, because we make the dough fresh every day. And I stay 1 hour making the dough. And after that, I start the pizza. From noon till 4:35. I go home, have supper, relax a little bit, and I come back to work. 7 days a week like that. When I get tired, I go sleep and come back.
My father, it's so hard to describe. He has the biggest heart you'll ever see in your life.
And I'm making a heart shape.
He loves what he does. We all love what we do. Like, I used to make fun of him working 7 days a week.
You want to say we put the pizza sauce?
And I work now 7 days a week so that my mother can get a few days off.
Pepperoni.
But I wish he would do more things for himself. Like I always tell my parents, you worked so hard to build this restaurant. Please go and enjoy yourself.
We enjoy it, you know what I mean? Like, even when I was working in Lebanon, I was lots of employee preparing the food. And me, I was decorating the food. Like every plate, I used to decorate it. I love that. And every pizza we put welcome for the customer. I've 48 years working here. Like I never think about it. The longest I keep going, I go. Like we're not for the money now, you know what I mean? We're just for pleasing the people more, I swear.
Louis' Pizza is warming up Vanier with its unique pizza creations. Paradise Poke is cooling things down with raw fish and tropical Hawaiian flavors. Located on Bank Street in the heart of downtown Ottawa, Paradise Poke is looking to be your tropical escape. Lucia has the story.
No matter how cold it is in Ottawa, it's always warmer at Paradise Poke, Ottawa's first poke restaurant. I'm going to speak to Ryan Malero, the co-owner of Paradise, to see how he and the team brings Hawaiian tropics to Ottawa.
Paradise Poke is a Hawaiian restaurant. Poke is a Hawaiian dish. The word poke means to cut or slice into cubes. We cut up our fish fresh every single day. So I was so obsessed with it that we decided to open this place in Ottawa. You start the day off pretty early and we run around and just prep everything for the day. We prep everything fresh every single day. The rice
bolted in over itself.
This is a huge process, something that we spend a lot of time on.
Enjoy our thermos, and we're good to go for lunch.
All those kind of things, we're prepping all the veggies, we're getting everything together, and then at 11 o'clock we open and the lunch rush comes in, and it just kind of all feels like this sort of crazy 4-hour performance. So you walk down the line with us, you get to choose a base. So we have sushi rice, we have sweet brown rice, or we have zucchini noodles. And then you get to choose a protein. So we have the ahi tuna, we have the fresh Atlantic salmon. And then you get to choose your mix-ins, which we talked about, the kind of quintessential items.
Put some on the rice and some inside.
Green onion, sweet onion, sesame seeds, and
now
cucumber.
it's time to mix.
And then you get to add a whole bunch of veggies. And then the final element is the crunch, which is, I mean, to me, without the crunch, it doesn't really work. You need that sort of crispy texture at the top. It's good. We always say you eat with your eyes first. So we wanted it to be as visually compelling as possible. And so that's why we've got, you know, the bright orange tobiko, the vibrant green edamame, the purple cabbage, all the different colors on the bowl that, you know, you kind of taste the rainbow. Our goal was always to bring sort of that aloha spirit to Ottawa.
Well, where are you putting
that sort of good vibes, great music, nice and bright and light. We try to keep it as warm in here as possible. You know, the decor goes perfectly into that sort of aloha spirit with the, you know, the tropical wallpaper and the bamboo lights. We painted the floors blue like the ocean. All those elements kind of come together to create that tropical feeling when you're in here. It's a nice contrast to, you know, what's going on outside.
Welcome back. Ottawa's restaurant community has many voices. From franchises to independent businesses, we truly have it all. This week, reporters from the 25th Hour talked to many small business owners, like Ryan, and found out just what they do. Freelance pastry chef Adam Seneko joins Jane in the studio to tell us more about what it means to own a small business in the food industry.
All right, so with us today we have Adam Seneko. He is a freelance pastry chef and owner of Adam Bakes. Adam, thanks for being with us.
Of course, thanks for having me.
So Adam, I'm just going to start off by asking you what motivated you to start Adam Bakes.
So I was working at the hotel before I decided to break out on my own, and I guess it comes down to me just being a good example of someone who moved up throughout like the culinary ladder, if that's what you want to call it, and burnt out.
And what was it like having to open up your own business?
Yeah, getting your license is fairly easy. There's, I mean, you just do it all online. I've taken some courses to kind of help me, to guide me throughout the process. I've consulted with like a local business coach.
Could you talk a little bit about what the differences are between working for a large business versus running your own small business?
Yeah, well, when you work for a big company like that, there's lots of people under you and above you, and it's just a huge beast, basically. And when you're on your own, you can just focus on yourself, do things that you want to do, that you feel passionate about. And for me, that was finding some pastries that were hard to find in Ottawa, so I'm focusing on that. When I broke off and did my own thing, this whole like world opened up to me, and I realized there are so many amazing local businesses that I had no idea existed. Before I was just very focused on the hotel, and now I'm seeing like a whole different side of Ottawa, and I'm like falling in love with it, basically.
Can you tell us about some of your signature dishes?
Cannelés, that's my signature pastry. So it's an old pastry from the Bordeaux region of France. Like I said, there's only a couple places in town that make them. I make them the very traditional way with copper molds. I grease them with beeswax instead of butter or oil, which is the traditional way they do it in France. And I use a local rum in them. So it's North of 7 Distilleries rum. I believe it's the only distillery in Ottawa that makes rum. Correct me if I'm wrong, and a little bit of vanilla. So basically it's a custard that's baked in the copper molds, and the beeswax keeps it super crispy on the outside, but the inside is like a soft custardy interior.
Yeah. Did you have a solid support system starting off this journey?
If you're opening up a larger company, there's always a lot more people on your team to help you through these sorts of things, but I guess being a small business owner, you have to really get in touch with the people that are close to you, whether it's friends or family, or maybe a friend of a friend.
So what makes your business unique in Ottawa?
So something I've been doing at my Christmas markets is sticky toffee pudding, and I bake it on a stick, so it's really fun for kids and other adults as well. I brought you a sample.
No, amazing. Oh,
so basically it's sticky toffee pudding, but I bake it in a popsicle mold, and then when it's cool I dip it in caramel, and then I dip it again in milk chocolate.
Wow.
And there's candied ginger on top as well.
Oh my gosh, this sounds amazing. Okay, I'm gonna take a bite. That's incredible. It's really incredible. Thank you so much for joining us today, Adam. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Back to you, Amanda.
So far, we've heard about Ottawa residents who are bringing the community together through food. Later on in the show, we'll meet an internationally acclaimed chef sharing his expertise with the next generation of young cooks.
And a Carleton University student who is breaking down the stigma surrounding veganism by hosting meatless cooking nights in her home.
Ottawa has a long list of restaurants for customers to choose from. Whether the restaurants are big or small, every chef has to learn. One Ottawa school is famed for grooming Canada's chefs of tomorrow. Students learn top skills from internationally renowned masters of cuisine. Irene has more.
I'm here at Restaurant International of the Algonquin College Culinary School. One chef is taking his passion for plating to the classroom. I'm stepping in to watch him teach firsthand.
I've been in the kitchens since I was 14 years old. It's pretty much my playground when I was growing up. My name is Rick Lee. I'm a chef instructor here at Algonquin College. We were working with Serge and MJ. They are very much leaders within the kitchen. Okay guys, for me coming back to Ottawa was a transition period of my life where, teaching, that's something I was very interested in. Yeah, a little bit, yeah. I noticed myself when I got into the teaching that my demeanor and my persona completely changed. And the way I grow with the students. So I'm gonna get you to cut it. You're gonna hand it to me. I'm gonna need 4 pieces. For instance, MJ today, sliced. She has a very calm demeanor. Okay, you just use my knife and then hand it to me and set it right here, and then I'm gonna start the plate presentation. And that kind of rubs off on me. Dealing with students like that is just amazing to come to school, to come to work. Thank you. So for me moving forward, you're gonna have your roller coaster rides for sure. But I always take MJ's demeanor and I just focus on, okay, this is what I'm striving for students to have that total vision moving forward. That's a success and a feather in my hat. Just kind of stand up. The abundance of food we have these days is pretty incredible. Introducing different concepts, different methods, different techniques gives us an open canvas as a chef, and your honed skills come out more. Your experience, your creativity, We'll see it on the plate. I think I'll be teaching until I retire here. For a teacher, it's a lifelong learning process for me. I've seen the world, and it's nice to settle down for once and not live out of a suitcase, that's for sure.
With a 25-year career behind him, Rick Lee has lots to share in the culinary world. Jackie Bastianen has been vegan, no meat, dairy, or eggs, for almost a year. She teaches others how to incorporate plant-based eating into their diets. She really is building the vegan community person by person. Julia sampled her delicious lifestyle.
To many, vegan diets seem like a senseless challenge. From eggs and meat to dairy and honey, animal products are in nearly everything. I'm standing in front of the house of Ottawa vegan Jackie Bastianen, who is on a mission to prove how accessible vegan diets can really be. She holds community cooking meetings twice a month to showcase vegan food. We had the opportunity to attend one of the cooking meetings to see how this vegan is stirring the pot.
Done. When you're passionate and you show people really good food and really beautiful food and really nutritious food, people are interested and they want to know more. I ate meat for 18 years. I really have no place and no reason to be judgmental of other people. That's kind of what I'm looking for there. Amazing, yeah, I trust you. So the actual point of starting with Cooking Jackie B was to get people involved in a community of cooking and for the environment. But once I realized the impact of the food on the environment, I really decided that that had to move with me. So it's moved with me as I went vegetarian and as I went vegan. So there are people in the group who don't actually realize that the group is vegan. So they come and they're very surprised and they realize that the entire thing is made of plants, and that's the best feedback that I get. Yeah, that would be perfect actually. So we need 4 carrots. Actually double that, so we're gonna need... It's really cooking for Jackie because I'm the one assigning things, and it's really lovely. Like, I do a little bit of chopping, I show people how to do things and stuff.
I prepared the cauliflower bites with my roommate, but it was pretty simple actually. Jackie gave us all of the ingredients and the instructions, so we just followed through. And then I mixed all of the dry ingredients together. And then we put some bread, like some breadcrumbs over it, and then some sauce after we baked it.
Ooh, look at that. Oh man, you guys, looks great. So good. So in the very beginning, it was definitely hard. I didn't really know how to start on a platform at all. I really wasn't super involved with social media. It started off as a Facebook group. I invited a couple of people, started with about 10 of my closest friends. There was 1 or 2 people who would come every week in the summertime. And then after that, people just kept on growing, so other people can add to the group. And after a while, now it's 261 people. But once I started the Instagram, people got really involved. And so as the social media stuff has grown, more people have been involved, and now it's at least 8 or 9 people every week, and I have people asking me to really get a spot all the time, so it's become really popular. So it's a really community-based sort of cooking meeting in general, so people are assigned different ingredients in order to bring. It's really them creating something, so at the end they've produced something and they're eating something that they've made. Interesting thing about tofu and things that are plant-based is that really I didn't used to like tofu, but over the last couple months my taste buds have really changed, so I will start to like things that I didn't like before. At first I was like, I'm never gonna like this, and now I eat tofu raw. It's not something that I would tell other people, but it's just to show you how my taste buds have changed, and I really just truly, genuinely love it. So it gets a bad rap, but you really have to stay up to date with the most recent research.
The evenings are so much fun, and honestly, if you don't know a single person here or have no idea how to cook, you still come out, even though it's super intimidating, but yeah, you'll meet so many people, everyone's so friendly.
Cheers! Cheers to reason. That's the kind of positive energy that I'm really going for, and people really, what I'm not trying to go convert people to complete veganism. I really just want people to have an idea, a better idea of veganism, and just destigmatize that word and destigmatize that lifestyle. And really
it has opened my mind more to being vegetarian or vegan. I have cut down my meat consumption actually, just because I have learned more meals that don't take meat.
After only 11 months, it's crazy how big a part of my life it is. Like, it's so incredibly important to me, and I think it always will be, because it's the animals, it's the environment, it's my health. Like, I feel great, and I really just want to continue talking about this and being part of this movement. And so I'm really hoping that past university people will want to continue to come, and I'll be able to rent out some sort of space and maybe do cooking lessons. So taking some sort of cooking course for myself so I can actually be and label myself as a cook. I think that'd be really exciting, and to be able to continue to bring people together, that's really a goal of mine, because I really just don't want this to stop. Like, I love it so much.
As more and more people turn to their local grocery stores for alternative food options, one Ottawa couple prefers to wander the woods before going down the grocery aisle. Esther has the details.
It's called wild foraging, and for Brittany and Alistair, it's about reconnecting with nature. Even with the ground frozen up, they take the time to draw from the earth and find wild edibles.
Since I've been doing this, I feel like I know myself for the first time in my life.
Feeling connected, a sense of belonging.
Being connected to the land gives you a sense of being connected to something so much bigger than you.
Hi, I'm Brittany.
And I'm Alistair.
And we run Nature Connections. Welcome to land out here, and welcome to our teepee.
Right now it is going into winter, so the land may seem a little bit barren. However, there are still many things that we can find and harvest.
Alright, let's try you. All of our human ancestors, up until only a few generations ago, got all of their food from nature. There was no grocery stores, there were no refrigerators. You certainly couldn't just walk into a store and be like, I don't feel like this brand today, I'm gonna get this brand instead. Like, you know, a cattail's a cattail, an acorn's an acorn. There we go. Whew. I guess I'm kind of sentimental about the idea of losing all of this information that has allowed our species to exist. If we lose this type of information, if we ever have a crisis where, for instance, we suddenly don't have any access to electricity, what are we gonna do? I'm going to be harvesting some white pine needles, so we're going to make a coniferous tea. I am taking right up against the branch. Realistically, such a big tree, it probably doesn't matter too much, but in general, when you're harvesting from plants, it's usually better to harvest near the base so that you don't have, just so that it can have the opportunity to heal and grow better. Often the medicine you need is right there on the land where you are, staring you in the face, and we don't know how to value it. We don't know who's there.
Back in the day, before we had oranges and lemons being constantly shipped from California, this would have been a very important source of vitamin C.
And around this time of the year, our ancestors wouldn't have been relying so much on harvesting, but they would also be focusing a lot on using what they had preserved throughout the seasons beforehand. So in the warm seasons, they would have been drying herbs, collecting nuts, drying fruits, harvesting anything they could, because we're coming into the long cold and there's not as much available.
We consider ourselves like students that are continuing to learn. And the way that we continue to learn is by passing on what has been taught to us.
I'd say my heart is happy and grounded.
Quite happy, kind of full.
Working with the skills of our ancestors has been kind of like coming home.
This week, we've been focusing on the role food plays in bringing communities together. While most people are connecting through food, Brittany and Alistair have been connecting through the land.
We hope you enjoyed our culinary stories from Canada's capital. That's it for today.
Thanks for tuning in with us for the final episode of this fall's 25th Hour. We hope you'll tune in again next semester. I'm Jane Skripnik.
And I'm Amanda Marsh. Thanks, and goodbye.